Hello everybody, and yeah, 5 years of this YouTube channel. This channel's now 5 years old. I can't believe that. Can you believe that? I bet you guys don't fucking care. No, I'm coming at you with a solo podcast today because I haven't really done too many of these, but I'm just here to celebrate, the 5 years. I thought I'd just do a podcast talking about all of it, and what better way than to capitalise on dead memes. To go over an iceberg, the Zea Tea Iceberg to be exact as well, because I'm going to give you a little bit of context as to what an iceberg is. Basically, it is like a list of like minutiae about a certain topic. So like a Game of Thrones iceberg would have stuff like R plus L equals J, or fucking like Targaryens, whatever else, all the stuff to do with it, the ins and outs of it. And I thought I would just go through the Zea Tea Iceberg today, considering this channel is now 5 years old. And I thought I'd wear this today. Look what shirt I'm wearing, guys. I don't wear this often anymore, but I wore this shirt to that Cardiff trip that I did in 2017. I also went to Bedford Who convention in this shirt as well with Morgan. This shirt has seen me through some things, and I think this was actually the shirt that I wore when I filmed my first DVD collection video for this channel, the 2016 one. But yeah, actually, I'm gonna make this old school. To be honest, I might take this down real quick. Sorry, Avenged Sevenfold, you're going down for a bit. Do you see this poster, guys? Do you recognise it? This is my OG poster behind me, so it's only right, don't you think? But yeah, I thought I would just go through. Okay, let me just show me what fucking iceberg is. Basically, here's an iceberg for you in front of you. It's an empty one, but yeah. And then here's my one at a glance. You get to see it for a second. Now it's gone, and now you can have it here. It's up on the screen for you right now. Basically, it's a lot of the ins and outs of this channel over the 5 years, and the stuff surrounding the channel, orbiting the channel and all that. Everything in this iceberg here and around it and below it. So the very top, the tip of the iceberg, is the stuff that is like right on the surface. Like everybody who goes to my channel and looks at it for a few hours will realise that these top things on the first category, the top tier, the tip of the iceberg, are the ones that are most obvious to everybody. So it's, like I say, stuff like Doctor Who Metal, as it shows there. Then the next tier below it is stuff that is a slightly more obscure, but is stuff that if you stick around on the channel longer and watch a couple videos, then the second tier is what you'd understand the channel has going for it, is the second tier. Third tier is a bit more difficult to wrap your head around. Not a lot of people will probably wrap their heads around everything on tier 3, to be honest, especially if they're not really well versed on my channel, which I don't expect you to be. But yeah, the stuff in the third tier here, right in the middle, is the stuff that's kind of obscure, but not in the realm of outlandish and like, what the fuck even is this? This is just conspiracy bollocks. But yeah, then in the fourth tier, the second to last tier, is the shit that gets weird, or the stuff that is very obscure, stuff that you'd only know of if you really like religiously follow my channel and you've watched a lot of videos, if not all of them. And then the final tier at the very bottom is the stuff that you have to probably know me on a personal level, or you have to have been watching the channel from day one, or you have to have watched every video and every other little minutiae about it to understand most of the final tier 5, which is the really obscure, really weird stuff. But yeah, that's the Zea Tea Iceberg. I thought I would go through every single topic from the highest tier, from the tip of the iceberg all the way to in the depths of the ocean, the bottom tier, the most obscure stuff. I'd like to go from top to bottom and talk about every single one. I think this is a really cool way to really just explore and discuss the different weird things that have happened on my channel, and all of the topics that I could talk about on the channel that have gone over for these past 5 years as well. But yeah, I thought I would just get into it, I don't really want to, waste any more time about it, but I do just want to say thank you If you're even watching my channel for the first time now, thank you. If you've been here for a year, 2 years, for the full 5 years, fucking hell, there might be a few people still watching that have been there for all the full 5 years. I thank you for it. Genuinely, I appreciate every single one of you. But yeah, I'm not going to procrastinate anymore. I'm just going to get straight into it. So, the tip of the iceberg. So, the very top one, the most fucking obvious one, is Doctor Who. Doctor Who is the one thing that this channel has had from all of the 5 years. Basically, it's just, I've made Doctor Who videos every single year of this channel. Obviously, in later years, less and less. I'm never going to stop, by the way. At least I have no plans to stop making Doctor Who videos. Even though the current iteration of the show is a bit meh right now, I'm never going to stop. Because Doctor Who is my number one show, and it always has been, and it always will be, probably, unless they do something really bad. Because there is just so much in the ethos of Doctor Who that I can just watch if I don't like the current show. Which means there's always videos to make about it, and there's always stuff to enjoy about it, like Big Finish, or the classic series, or the books, or you get the idea. So Doctor Who is the surface value, most obvious thing that you would see about the channel of all time. Like, if you look at the most popular videos, if you look at the amount of the sheer amount of videos that I've done, I think I've done probably 120 videos of Doctor Who by now, and reviews exclusively, not to mention all the podcasts I did about them and all these. Yeah, it's been a wild ride making videos for Doctor Who, and like I said, I'm never going to stop. Obviously, I've slowed down, but I'm never going to stop. I promise you that. I think the next thing that people would, I think as a sidestep from Doctor Who, is the review in space, which is obviously the playlist which has like 100 odd reviews of Doctor Who, and that's all the review in space is. The review in space is a Doctor Who reviewing series. I did get inspiration for the title of the series from Batman March originally, when him and his mate Billy did the review of Death. They did all these reviews, retro reviews, and all these other obscure reviews about Doctor Who, and it was a cool title. And I want a really unique, iconic Doctor Who reviewing title. So I thought Review in Space, like The Ark in Space, or Frontier in Space. So I thought I'd put play on that and make my own reviewing series titled Review in Space, and it's stuck. And it's probably the thing that my channel, at least throughout its whole run, is known for the most, because the Review in Space has been a running series on my channel for years now. So I think that's that. I think next, easily, would be the DVD collections, because those are what my most viewed videos are, at least at the very top. Those are probably the videos that people initially know of my channel for. And speaking of, I've nearly finished my DVD collection. Actually, I'm gonna quickly grab my phone and I'm gonna show you. If you look at this collection right now, guys, I know it's not very organised right now, but I'm very close to being finished. I've only got 3 DVDs left, because I've got these 4. These are very new editions, because I realised how close I was to being finished. But now I've only got the King's Demons, Planet of Fire, and then the Web Planet to get. And then I've got every single Doctor Who DVD. Well, actually, no, I also need Series 11 and 12 of the new series, and then Revolution of the Daleks on DVD. But yeah. So I'm nearly finished my DVD collection. That's the long and short of it. So there probably won't be too many more of these DVD collections that will be coming out, at least of Doctor Who, just because there wouldn't be any much point making any more of them. I know that people like them, but there isn't really much point in me making any more of them if I've finished the collection anyway. Like, I'm going to make one more when I finish the collection, because like I said, I've got 3 left to get, and then I've completed it, and that'll be a great final video to be like, look, I've finished my collection. But then after that, I probably won't make another DVD collection unless BBC finish animating all of the missing episodes from the 60s, because that's going to be a few years down the line anyway, and by then there'll be a new era of the new series that I'll have on DVD as well, and we'll talk about that and all that. So it wouldn't be obsolete. It's just I don't think I'll be making too many more of them. There'll probably be 2 at most on my channel as of right now. Like, in the lifespan of this channel, there are only probably going to be 2 more ever that'll be made. Like the one where I'm completed it with the 3 left that I've got to get, and then maybe another one after that if the classic series missing episodes get animated or they get recovered or something, and I get the DVDs of those, and I completed everything on DVD. But yeah, that was a mouthful. But no, yeah, that's the DVD collections. It's pretty self-explanatory. I collect DVDs. I collected the Doctor Who DVDs all my life, ever since I got The Remembrance of the Daleks on DVD, which is one of my favourite items in my collection, as I've said previously in other videos. But yeah, the DVD collection is something obviously that I've been collecting on camera for this channel for since the channel started. The first ever video was a collection Doctor Who DVD collection video. But before that, I think I started to be like, oh, I actually really want to start collecting these classic episodes and really build up my collection and see what we've got. Was in like 2012 when I got the beginnings box set with An Unearthly Child, Daleks, and Edge of Destruction. I was like, that's really cool. I'm gonna get the rest of these. So but no, yeah, that's about it really with the DVD collection. There's not much else to say about it. And obviously, as well as that, about the channel, which also links to DVD collections, is merchandise updates, videos that I do actually. Let me just move the camera. Do you recognise this wardrobe? If you look down there, I can't really fucking show you, it's fine. I'll grab my phone again. So this is where my desk is right here. Down there is where I showcase my merchandise updates. You probably recognise it. It's basically on the carpet and it's got this wardrobe in front of it. But yeah, say hi to yourself. I just realised this podcast is going to be so difficult for me to edit down, but it's fine. It's for the 50th anniversary? Yeah, this channel's been going 50 years, Zach. No, for the 5-year anniversary, so it's worth it, you know. But collection updates, merch updates are something I've done since the start of the channel as well, and I'm so glad I'm still doing them because they are fun. I'm going to make them until I find them too much of a hassle to make. And I'm only going to make them if I have stuff to show, you know. I mean, I've steered away from just showing the Doctor Who items that I've collected, but I'm always going to be making merch updates, whether it be with Doctor Who items or with metal, regalia, or other assorted, like, fandom or pop culture items that relate to, like, merch collecting. I'm always going to show off what I buy in videos if I have a sufficient amount enough to show in a merch update. So I don't think I'm going to stop those anytime soon unless I get sick of them. So yeah. Also, speaking of podcasts, the Zea Tea Podcast, I think that is on the level now where it is on the tip of the iceberg, and it's very surface level Zea Tea stuff. Considering the title of the channel is in the title of the podcast, I think it goes hand in hand with being very noticeable from first glance of the channel. So that's why I think it deserves pride and place in the top. And plus, I'm pretty proud of it. You know, the podcast has been going for 2 years now, nearly. So, you know, I'm happy. I'm proud of that. Short films. I've been making short films for years and years now. Since 2015, I think I made my first ever one. Called Lights Off. And I might actually just re-edit that because I found the footage for it not too long ago. So I might re-upload that. I might re-edit it and upload it on the channel at some point. Maybe. I don't know if I will. But obviously it was the first ever short film that I ever filmed, and my mum was the star. And I was 2014, I think, so I was like 14 or 13 years old. And I just got my new Handycam, my new Sony Handycam, so I was excited to film some stuff because I've been wanting to make films for the years now, since I was really young. So but yeah, I've been making short films forever, and I started to post them on the channel around 2018, maybe 2019, maybe 2018, I think. Some of them fucking hell, I'm having a stroke right here. Some of those being college projects, and some of them just being films I wanted to do in the free time, and then eventually doing short films at uni with my friends over at uni, and then obviously collaborating with other friends that I have here as well. So, you know, it's a mixture, you know, and I like to just make films for fun, you know, and that's why I like making short films, because you don't have to do a big production. You obviously have to do a risk assessment, you have to do planning and a script and all that for these short films now, and I do try to, but you don't have to worry about these big fucking production with hundreds of people involved. And I like the idea of short films because they're easier to do, they're fun usually. And yeah, and I think they're really, really rewarding once they're finished. You can watch them over and see, that's a good thing I just made there. I just realised I'm not even finished with the first tier, and we're already like a quarter of the way through the podcast, or like 15 minutes in or whatever. So I'm going to speed this up. Next is metal, which is something that's only come up prevalent on the channel in the last 2 years. Yeah. In 2020 and maybe a bit in 2019 as well, to be honest. So like 2019, 2020, and then this year, 2021, is really when metal have started being pushed forward to the front end of the channel and becoming a mainstay that I think it kind of deserves to be in the front facing side of the channel and very surface value. But yeah, so I think metal is obviously one of those things nowadays that I do show off on the channel a lot, just because I'm a metalhead at heart. So, and oh, by the way, I don't think I put this on this iceberg, but I will be making a new battle vest. There are so many people that are asking me if I'm making a new battle vest now. I'm not even kidding. I'm getting private messages and comments, and I will. Okay, I was gonna put it on the iceberg, but I'll just give that disclaimer now, you know, rather than do it later in the video when less people are watching. But yeah, I will be making a new battle vest at some point, because I've already got hundreds more patches to stick on somewhere. But yeah, my throat is nearly dead. But yeah, we're going to move on to the second tier of this iceberg, which is stuff which is still kind of well known for the channel, but you have to watch it for maybe a little bit for you to get most of these, you know what I mean? So the first one I think is Vlogeration, which is a vlogging series that I've been doing for nearly 2 years now, year and a half, on and off really. But I just make vlogs when I want to, and what I tried to do with Vlogeration as a series is first of all, I thought of the title mostly because my mate Joe, he has a vlogging series called Vloggery, and I wanted to kind of take the piss out of that at first, but it kind of became this thing, Vlogeration, where I vlog like a portion of my life, like a little chapter of my life, and then that's one vlog, and I treat that vlog as a production, as a short film in and of itself, which is why they are highly edited, highly thought out. The editing is much more intricate than a regular vlog would be. So Vlogeration is a lot more not professional, but it's just a lot more just polished, I guess. So I'm really proud of Vlogeration, but I'm thinking of quality over quantity with that, you know. But also I do want to keep doing them, but I don't want to do them as much as I have been, because I want to live my life. I don't have to worry about putting stuff that I do on the internet. But at the same time, I do like having that footage of stuff that I've done some days online for prosperity, so that I can look back on it, you know. So it is a catch-22. I just don't want to film too much. So maybe not as much Vlogeration episodes as I have been doing, but they're not going to stop anytime soon. I don't have any plans to stop them, so at least not yet, maybe. But no, yeah. After that, we have Guess That Metal Song, which is a series which I've been doing for as long as I've been doing metal on the channel. So and I really like that series, to be fair. I'm running out of bands that we can do them with, unless I start bringing in more metalheads that I know to play the Guess That Metal Song. Like, I have a Black Sabbath episode that I could do, someone testing me. I could do Slayer, Amon Amarth. I wanted to do Typo Negative. I wanted to test Joe on that one. And then I have a couple bands that I could test Kane with as well. I've mentioned a bit of that to him, and he might be down. So yeah, there might be more of those to come soon, but I can't promise anything, because I don't have a strict schedule on when I do Guess That Metal Songs. It's just whenever the opportunity arises to record one, I go for it. You know what I mean? So it's not something that happens all the time, but when it does, there you go. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm talking too much about it now. Team Torchwood. Well, you would only know about what that is if you've either been on the channel for all of its lifespan, for 5 years, or if you've gone back to the depths of my channel to the first year, because that's what my channel used to be called. It used to be called Team Torchwood when my channel was exclusively a Doctor Who channel, and I did that for a whole year, a bit over a year, a bit under a year maybe. But I did it from August 2016, which is when I started the channel, all the way to maybe, I think, July 2017. But yeah, Oh, my throat is really going. I might have to get a drink in a bit. But yeah, Team Torchwood is just a Doctor Who era of my channel that I made, and that's how I started it, and it was just the name that I thought of. Looking back, it's a bit of a cringy title, but that's the sort of title that a 16-year-old would think of when they're starting a channel about Doctor Who, because Torchwood was, is, and probably always will be my favourite Doctor Who spin-off. So it's a no-brainer for me as to why I did that at the time, but now it's like, it's so cringy, but it's also got a tint of nostalgia attached to that title, Team Torchwood. But yeah, I just did Doctor Who reviews and merch, and that's how it started really with Team Torchwood. Underneath that we have top tens, which is obviously I just do top tens and ranking videos. That's just something that I do on the channel. It's not doesn't really need that much looking into, I'm afraid. But yeah, that's really it for that one. TT Institute. Now that is what I renamed my channel to when I started bringing in more people onto my channel to review Doctor Who with. So I obviously initially with Team Torchwood I brought on Kane and Morgan to do Doctor Who reviews a lot, and I did a lot of those, like a fucking shit ton. And that obviously happened, and most of the themes that I had in Team Torchwood carried over into TT Institute at first. It's just I brought in a lot more people. I had Catherine in there for a while. I had actually a little bit later there was this big event of me introducing 2 more Institute members with Dylan and Joe to do more Doctor Who. And that was really cool, to be honest. TT Institute was this idea of doing like a group, like a channel, like a group channel where it's like a collaborative Doctor Who channel, like 5 Who fans or the Who addicts or something like that, because that's what I initially was inspired by in the first place to start a Doctor Who channel, was channels like that, along with Batman March, and I guess Cyber Leader 1010. I used to watch that guy a little bit, so yeah, so that happened. But yeah, TT Institute was basically that. It was basically like a group channel for Doctor Who and reviewing, and I'm really proud of what we did there, to be fair. I'm really happy with what we did. I feel like we could have done more, but you know, that's hindsight is a beautiful thing. But no, that's basically it. But no, TT Institute just I kind of lost motivation to do it during 2018 because of personal issues. But no, I'm still glad that it was a thing in this channel's history and lifespan, so you know. And next, underneath that, we have Iceberg. Now, Iceberg very basically is my second channel, or a channel that I have on the side, or had on the side. It's still going. Most of the videos that I made on there are still uploaded on the channel. Some of them got taken down by YouTube because of like copyright strikes, because I used to use copyrighted music a lot on that channel. So most of those videos are gone, but I still have that channel. It's mostly gaming now that I ever post on there, but I sometimes post IRL stuff on there still, but it's mostly just random stuff that I find is funny, or stuff that I just throw videos on there. I don't really care as much about that channel as I do this one. But it's there. If you guys want to go check it out, then that'd be much appreciated, but I don't have a strict upload schedule on there. Just want to warn you about that. But yeah. Just underneath that, we have the TT Podcast, which is kind of obscure. It's not out of the realm of possibility that people that watch my channel now might know what that is if they weren't there at the time. It's just a podcast series that I did. I did a few live streams reviewing Doctor Who, and I did like extra podcasts, mostly with a bunch of people actually, that I collaborated with in the Doctor Who YouTube community. My mate Cameron, who Doctor Forever, you might know him better as. Also, Type 40 Studios. I don't know where he is now, but I hope he's alright. Also, Whovian Reviews, South Park Free Gaming, and a few others here and there. But yeah, that was a really cool series, to be honest. And yeah, it didn't really last too long. Mostly, it kind of flitted out in the same vein as like the TT Institute did, because basically the TT Podcast was like a collaboration of me. A collaboration was basically a project of me collaborating with these other Doctor Who YouTubers, and I kind of veered away from that a little bit because of like some sort of issues that happened with the YouTube community. So I put my attention more towards my group channel of Doctor Who, which was TT Institute, where I collaborate with my friends who I brought onto the channel, like Kane, Morgan, Dylan, etc. But yeah, the TT podcast was a cool thing. So yeah, Blast from the Past. That is a series that I'm very proud of. And series 3 of Blast from the Past is postponed, not cancelled, postponed. I'm afraid some issues went wrong with some of the editing of it, and also one of the episodes hasn't even been recorded yet because of that reason. So I've postponed it. I don't know when series 3 will be out, but it's got a pin in it for now. But hopefully series 3 of Blast from the Past will come out soon. Hopefully by the end of this year. I'm going to aim to be out by the end of this year, but if not, please don't be surprised, because it's being a real arse. It's being really difficult, having to to make. But yeah, Blast from the Past I'm very proud of. But oddly enough, fun fact about Blast from the Past, series 1 of it, the first 5 episodes that I did, they were all originally uploaded on my Iceberg channel, but I later decided to re-upload them on this channel. I don't know why in the end, but I'm glad they're on here now, because it is a great series and I'm glad that it's getting some exposure now. But no, series 1 originally were recorded and filmed in 2018, but I decided to re-upload them on obviously Zea Tea as we know it now. But yeah, I'm really proud of Blast from the Past, to be fair. But obviously it's not been an easy ride, obviously, because like I said, series 1 was re-uploaded from my second channel to this one, and then series 2, half of it was recorded in 2019 and I didn't upload it until we were in fucking lockdown in tier 3 or some bollocks in 2020, and I ended up uploading some solo one. And it's a real patchwork series at the moment, but series 3 is gonna be great. I just can't wait for you guys to see it. It's just taking ages to make, and I apologise for that. But when you see series 3, you won't regret it. It will be great. The worth will be worth it. The worth will be worth it. The wait will be worth it. Jesus Christ. Alright, I'm going to go on a quick commercial break, and I'll be back to discuss the 3rd tier, because we're done with the first 2 now. So we'll see you in a second. I'll see you after these messages. My fucking throat. Oh, cool.
He waits. That's what he does. And I'll tell you what. Tick followed tock, followed tick, followed tock, followed tick. He is still waiting.
Alrighty. Tier 3 of the Iceberg. Hope you guys enjoyed that commercial break. I don't know what I put in there. Maybe I'll just put an advert that I made a little while ago. I don't know. But no. On the tier 3, we have, the first one is Review and Discussions, which is what my original name for my Doctor Who reviewing series was for Team Torchwood and then TT Institute originally, until I revamped the idea of a reviewing series and renamed it and just repurposed the old review and discussions and transformed them and added them onto the backlog of reviews of Doctor Who and made them the Review in Space, and you get the idea. But that was the original title of my reviewing series, was Review and Discussions. But yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, to be fair. I mostly did those with Kane and Morgan, though, to be fair. I did do a couple towards the end of their lifespan with, like, Catherine, Dylan, and Joe. But mostly they existed in the lifespan of Team Torchwood and then a tiny bit at the start of TT Institute. But yeah, next up on Tier 3, we have the Avenged Sevenfold, which, let me... Fucking hold on. Look, this is an Avenged Sevenfold flag. Avenged Sevenfold happens to be my favourite band of all time. One of the first metal bands that I ever listened to. I've mentioned them on the channel a couple times, I think. So they're a bit obscure, but they're not out of the realm of possibility that it's kind of well known for it to be this high up on the iceberg. considering they're plastered everywhere in my room, they're on my battle jacket everywhere. You know, it's just a bit. It's difficult to place Avenged Sevenfold on the iceberg because I don't know how aware people are of them being that prominent and how much love I have for them. But you know, I just put them in the middle because I think that's a fair place to put them. But yeah, then next we have on tier 3 is the Zea Tea Institute, or the Zea Tea Institute. I don't know what you want to call that, but basically at the start of 2019, and maybe for like most of it, maybe the first half of it, maybe the first 2/3 of it, the channel was titled the Zea Tea Institute. Instead of the TT Institute, it was Zea Tea and then Institute. I don't know why I did that. I think it's mostly because the TT Institute was kind of dead by that point. By the end of 2018, I'd kind of abandoned the idea, and it kind of just flittered away. So I just renamed it so that the start of it, rather than TT, it had my initials, Zea Tea, because that's my name. Those are my initials. So I thought, why not? And then have Institute at the end to keep it in keeping with the rest of the title that I had for the channel. So, you know, it just is what it is. There isn't really much to it, to be honest, because Zea Tea Institute was a very rough time for the channel because I posted not that much, to be fair. I still posted Doctor Who and merch and other stuff. It was just barely anything. I was very burnt out of Doctor Who at that point as well, like early 2019. Most of 2019 I was, to be honest, but it was around that era of the channel, the Zea Tea Institute, where I was really burnt out of Doctor Who and the channel suffered for it. But next on the tier 3 is The Walking Dead. I've made a couple videos on it. That's all I really need to say about it. I didn't want to put it too low because at the end of the day, those are more recent videos, but they aren't as well known as like my Doctor Who stuff or metal stuff, so they aren't going to be as far up on the list as those ones would be. And plus I've only made 2 videos about them. I've spoken about The Walking Dead and referenced it in a lot of merch videos with like me collecting the DVDs for Walking Dead or the comics. So I think The Walking Dead does deserve a spot on this iceberg, which is why they're here. So next on tier 3 is Static Yonder, some fucking weird channel. I don't know. Next we have Needles. Now, Needles was a weird thing that I made for a weird sort of cursed video that I wanted to do last year. But Needles kind of manifested into a being of pure horror and terror. But luckily, he's been burnt to a crisp, and I left him at the uni house. So thank God I'll never see that creepy bastard again. Anyway, next on the tier 3 is R&D week. Now, this is something quite obscure. It's a little bit more obscure than review and discussions, and it is very closely linked to the review and discussions. Basically, early 2018 was when I had the idea to just cut the cord on the review and discussions that I was doing with Doctor Who, revitalise the idea of reviewing Doctor Who on the channel with the review in space, and basically do something called R&D week, which is do daily videos for a week. For a week, 7 videos daily, basically, and do a whole week of Doctor Who reviews, which is what I did. And goddamn, am I proud that I did that. I'm still very chuffed that happened. You know, I'm still glad that was a nice way to end the review and discussions and kind of lead into the new era of reviewing Doctor Who on my channel at that time in 2018, which turned into the review in spaces, fucking review in space. And then, yeah, R&D week was basically that. It was an amalgamation of getting everyone on the channel of Team TT Institute involved in reviewing an episode each day. For a week I reviewed something with Kane and Catherine, and then I reviewed something with Morgan one day, and then I reviewed something with Joe another day, and then Dylan, and then blah, 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 blah. That was just how it went. So I'm very proud that happened, and I got to do that with my mates. I'm very proud of that still to this day. So yeah, that's all that needs to be said there. The videos are still up on my channel, I think. At least some of them. I'm not sure if they got claimed by copyright, because BBC likes to do that. BBC likes to claim my videos even if they have just still images of an officially licensed poster for an episode or something. They like to just claim my video and sometimes take it down if it has music relating to the video, to the episode or whatever, and it's really annoying. But you know what? If they're up, go watch them, go enjoy them, you know. But yeah, next in tier 3 is Capisia/Clumsy Ninja. Now this isn't something I reference on the channel as much, which is why it's tier 3, but it is Kane's channel. Capisia is what it's called now. It was called Clumsy Ninja when we started it, because I was his editor originally. It was mostly gaming. But now he's kind of opened up the brand of Capisia or whatever to doing anything he wants, but it's mostly going to be relating to his career path, which is like game dev stuff. So if you want to go check him out, I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Just follow his stuff, because he's making games now, and I'm pretty proud of him. So yeah. But no, Clumsy Ninja was the original channel name, and now it's called Capisia Gaming, I think. And he's just posting more game videos on there when he feels like it, which is how it should be with YouTube. You shouldn't be restricted to a schedule. Says me having to upload a video a week. But no, yeah, that's basically it with that. That's Kane's channel. But yeah. Next, we have the Series 10 finale. Now, this one, the Series 10 finale, there are a lot of answers to what this one means. Mostly, I think it's because it was like the first real meme that the viewers like kind of latched onto with the channel, because I had this deep-rooted hatred for the Series 10 finale, and this actually sparked because I did a 24-hour live stream with some of my Doctor Who YouTube community friends, like Doctor Forever or like South Park Frisbee Gaming, etc., like Pitch Skull Black, and we did like a 24-hour live stream hosted by Doctor Forever, and we were reviewing Series 10 as one of the segments of the 24-hour live stream, and I went on this big tangent about how much I hate the Series 10 finale, and it just became a whole thing. And now everybody kind of took the piss out of that, and yeah. Also, I think one of the reasons why Series 10 finale is even on here is because I've made probably 10 plus videos on that episode alone. I think I made just a hate piece on it at one point. I made a whole podcast talking about Series 10. I did a specific review with Morgan about Series 10. I did 2 or 3 skits about the Series 10 finale and how I don't want to watch it and how I'm distraught about it. And then I think I also, in 2019, did a review in space with Dylan, unironically reviewing it seriously, and my review had me with as a changed man, with me thinking, oh, Series 10 finale, World Enough and Time Doctor Falls, isn't that bad of an episode now that I watch it back, which is just hilarious. It's like my character arc, going from me hating Series 10 finale, because of the flying Cybermen and John Sim not being used well enough and all that shit, to me ended up being like, you know what, it's actually it could be worse. So I find that funny, to be fair. I find that really funny, because Series 10 is like, the Series 10 finale has just become like a staple on the channel. It was like the first meme that came about for my channel, which, it always gives me nostalgia when I think about that sort of stuff. The good old days of like doing Doctor Who collaboratively with like even my friends, or with my friends on the YouTube community of Doctor Who. But it was great, good times. Speaking of memes on this channel, one that will never die is the Underwater Menace. Now let me get my DVD for Underwater Menace, so give me a second. You know what's funny? I couldn't actually find this for a second. I thought I'd actually thrown it away for real. Now this one is a Doctor Who episode that was at one point my most hated, least favourite Doctor Who episode of all time. Now, I don't know if it still holds true now, because I haven't watched it since I originally did, and I haven't watched it since I've bashed it about, and look how battered this fucking thing is. I've thrown this in every which way. Basically, I don't even know where this started, to be honest, because I don't know if I did it in a podcast where I talked about how much I hated it, or whether it was in a live stream with some of my friends, or whether it was in a like a merch video. I think the way that it was popularized was in one of the DVD collection videos that I did, maybe in 2016 or 2017, where I pulled this out and I just yeeted it out the window or some shit. I think it just spawned from there. I think people just found that funny, and now people who watch my DVD collections are really only watching to see this getting abused. But yeah, it's a bad episode for damn sure, but I don't know if it's still my least favourite. There's probably something in Jodie's era by now, but who knows. Either way, it's a bad episode, and actually, hold on 1 minute. I have an idea. Oh, you see this bin? There you go. That's where it belongs, you see. That's where it always belongs. In the bin. Right, okay. That's the Underwater Menace. And honestly, actually, side note, I nearly forgot to say this. I originally had the idea to do a like a skit, like a short film funny skit of the Underwater Menace as a DVD. But I never got around to it, basically. I might still do that someday, so I'm not going to tell you what it was going to be about, because I might end up doing it if COVID eases off a bit more and I can get a friend or two around to help me film. It's a good idea, it's a funny idea, and it's a quick little idea that we can film. That'll be fun for you guys to watch, so maybe you'll see that, an Underwater Menace like skit-based film about the DVD of some description. I won't tell you any more though, because it might, like I say, you might see it. But yeah. Next we have Star Trek. Star Trek, in the same way as The Walking Dead, is only on here because I did a few videos on it and I referenced it in a merch video or two. Obviously it was a lot longer ago. It was like in the Team Torchwood era, I think, when I did those videos. But yeah, I like Star Trek. I mostly grew up watching it in the same way that I watched Doctor Who, through my parents. I didn't latch on to Star Trek anywhere near as much as Doctor Who, but I do like it. The new films are quite decent, and I love Next Generation and Voyager, actually. Next Generation and Voyager are peak Star Trek, to be honest. So yeah, that's the only reason why it's on here, because I like it and I made a few videos on it. Pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, that's Star Trek. Next we have Cack and Joke. Now, I'm going to take a swig of my drink real quick. So Cack and Joke is kind of manifested on its own. It kind of started out as just a dumb thing that me and Joe said in a video. I don't even know where it started, to be honest, but Cack and Joke has manifested itself and has now become this series of challenge videos that me and Joe do, and it's just like, what the fuck has happened? It's literally become its own beast. I don't even know how it came about. I think me and Joe just started saying it in a video, and then one video I decided to put Cack and Joke in the title or somewhere in the text of the description or something, and then the comments latched onto it, as they do, and they were like, oh, Cack and Joke, is that your duo name? Is that yours and Joe's duo name? Because Cack and Joke is like it's like a play on words, because my name's Zach, Joe's name is Joe. Duh, and funny how that works. So Cack sounds like Zach and Joke sounds like Joe in a way. It's like a play on it. But also our favourite drink is Jack and Coke, Jack Daniels and cola, like mixer. And Cack and Joke is kind of like a mixed match of letters from that saying as well. So Cack and Joke is like an amalgamation of mine and Joe's favourite beverage, but also an amalgamation of mine and Joe's names put together, being our dynamic duo name, I guess. But it's now a series name as well. Like I say, it's manifested into its own little beast. And it will never die. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Cack and Joke is just a dumb thing. Like a dumb series name that has somehow managed to to fester into its own thing. But yeah, and also, speaking of Jack and Coke, whiskey/JD. Now, the only reason why it's on here is because of the amount of comments I get about saying that I should have a sponsorship from Jack Daniels, and specifically Jack Daniels Honey. Just because all the time, especially in like 2020 and 2019, I made loads of videos that accidentally or intentionally referenced or endorsed, accidentally or not, JD, Jack Daniels honey in particular. Me drinking it, my friends drinking it, us enjoying it, us swigging it, downing it, you know, just talking about it, making jokes about it, referencing it all the time. And in 2020 it even got to a point where comments pointed out that, oh, Jack Daniels may as well be your fucking brand at this point. It may as well be your brand deal for you. You may as well be sponsored by them. They endorse, like, you've hyped up their Jack Daniels honey so much. And they're not wrong. Like, Jack Daniels happens to be one of my favourite... Actually, hold on. 1 fucking second, I've got to show you something. I got 3 of these. I'm only holding 2 because I only have 2 hands. Hold on. I've got 3 of these now. I've got fucking 3. I've barely drank much of it. Well, half of it. So, you know. But you're right. If anybody should sponsor me, it should be Jack Daniels. That's basically it. It's just I reference it and display Jack Daniels honey a lot in my videos. So, and also actually, I've done a couple short films called Whiskey Bar, Whiskey Jar. One of those is on this channel. One of them's on Iceberg, my second channel. Both of them with Joe, and we just do those. We might do a third one at some point when COVID fucks off. So yeah, you know, it's one of those things. It's just like I say, like cack and joke, as like a dumb saying. Whiskey as a thing in my videos just somehow got latched onto by the comments, and it somehow became its own thing. But yeah, that's basically it with that one. Oh, and finally, in tier 3, this one touches a nerve with me. COVIDiots. Now, this video came out this year, so it's still fresh in my mind. The wound is very much still raw and very fragile. It's very, very... this hurts for me to even talk about. Basically, COVIDiots was a production that I did this year. A mockumentary. So it's satire, by the way. And it basically was a production which took the piss out of people who had these dumbfounded opinions about coronavirus and the lockdown and conspiracies and all this bollocks. And what I basically did was I had this... It's one of my favourite things I've ever made, like in film, ever. I genuinely am so fucking proud of it. It originally was actually an idea for a uni production, which was like a 5-minute like creative video of your choosing. So I decided to do like satire, sort of like propaganda, piss take shit. And I did a 5-minute version, and then I also did a director's cut 15-minute version, which I uploaded on here on this channel. And you may wonder why it's not on my channel anymore. Well, it got taken down by YouTube. Now, I've already been over this briefly in a video, but I want to just take a second to really talk about it. Basically, it breached... The first time I uploaded it, it apparently breached these YouTube guidelines that I'd never heard of before. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. I'll take it down, I'll re-edit it and put a big disclaimer at the start, which is what was advised in the YouTube guidelines, by the way. So I made the disclaimer. I quoted the YouTube guidelines in the disclaimer text-wise, and I also did a voiceover reading out that disclaimer as well at the start of the video as well. I was very thorough to make sure that in my re-edit I abided by the YouTube community guidelines, creator guidelines, whatever, that it was actually okay and it wasn't harmful and it wasn't misinformation, and it was very clear that it was satire, and I was very clear, very, very careful. And then when I re-uploaded this second version, this new version that was meant to be brand safe or some bollocks, I uploaded it, and after a day YouTube took that one down too. So now I've got 2 strikes on my channel. Thanks, YouTube! But no, I'm still really heated about that, to be honest. And plus I put my heart and soul into it, both times, by the way, because I had to modify it to make it more brand safe, which I was proud of as well, because I'm like, okay, this one is actually like more professional, because I take it to a client, YouTube, and they bring it back with notes, and so I edit it with the new additions, with the disclaimer, with the edited context to make sure it's more clear that it is satire and it's not actually the opinions that are in this video don't actually reflect the opinions of the creators and all that, and it's meant to poke fun at the incorrect information that is told these days about COVID and all that, but it got taken down all the same. But no, basically COVIDiots was this really cool idea where I had all of my friends that I've collaborated with in the past. So obviously Kane, Dylan, Maya, Joe, Morgan, Henry. I had all of them in this video acting as a character for this thing. So they were playing it. So like Maya played the hypochondriac. Adam played this literal COVID idiot who had like a face mask over his eyes. My mum played a Karen, as they're usually called in derogatory term, where they're like complaining and just outraged at everything. My dad played the boomer. I had so many people involved in this, and I even had Henry play a parody of Boris Johnson. So, you know, it was a really funny production. It was so cool and fun, and I was so proud of it, and I think everyone had fun as well. I think that's the best part about it, is that when I was interviewing all of them, they were just having fun, because my notes to them were, here are the 3 interview questions, here's your character, you can choose whatever you want to do with the character, just have fun. And my god, the production came out great. Someday I might be able to upload it on a different platform and then maybe link it to here. So maybe some way you guys can watch COVIDiots if you missed out when it was initially out. But as it stands right now, COVIDiots is gone. I don't want to risk re-editing it again for no reason, because I already did that. You know, I already uploaded it a second time with the modifications that made it safe to put on YouTube, that were abiding by the YouTube guidelines to a T. I was quoting it and I was making sure to the letter that I was doing everything right in the second draft. But yeah. Well, that was a rant about COVIDiots. Well, at least it's off my chest, because it really pissed me off. Genuinely, it pissed me off so much that it got taken down. And I've even appealed, saying that this abides by every single guideline in the restrictions that YouTube has for the creators. And they haven't even come back to me with an appeal. What happened is I put my appeal through, because you can appeal basically. If you get a video taken down, YouTube gives you the option to appeal. And if you appeal and they think that it's alright, they go, okay, here's your video back. You can upload it. You can make it public again. I put the appeal in, and it got shot back to me, basically. I got an automatic reply from YouTube saying, thank you for your appeal. Your video will remain taken down, and your 2 strikes will remain on your channel. Which is so not fair. Which is one of the reasons why I'm not very happy with YouTube, especially at the moment. Anyway, that was a bit of a downer. That's it for tier 3. I'm going to just chill and take a swig of water for a second. Alrighty, so let's get that's off my chest. I can actually enjoy doing the rest of this, because COVIDiots is a very sore wound of mine for this channel especially, but it is what it is, you know. We move, you know. It is, you know, we just move on. Yeah, on a lighter note, tier 4, which is even more obscure stuff, which not many people probably watching would probably understand what these are. Maybe you do. Props to you if you do. But yeah, at the very top we have Trivial Pursuit, which is like the Doctor Who version of Trivial Pursuit. Basically, I've done 2 videos, both bangers by the way. I've done 2 Doctor Who Trivial Pursuit videos with Dylan. Those are beauties. They are genuinely 2 of my favourite videos I've done on this channel. They are some of the best stuff that's up on my channel right now. They are both brilliant. I think the first one's a classic, and then the second one somehow tops it. I think that both videos are bangers, you know what I mean? So that's it, basically. Trivial Pursuit, Doctor Who. Hopefully there'll be a third one soon when COVID goes away, because I want to do a third one with Dylan. Hopefully with an actual like board game version, you know, because Trivial Pursuit is a game that initially wasn't Doctor Who, and that has like a board game, like an actual set board that you can move your counters around the table and collect wedges. That was the original version of Trivial Pursuit. So me and Dylan hopefully will be able to do that when COVID goes away fully. But yeah, next we have the Bedford Who convention. Now this one is pretty self-explanatory as well. I've done a review on the convention. I've been to it 3 times and I've vlogged it twice. Great convention. I fucking love the Bedford convention. The people that run it, amazing people. They are just great human beings. And every single time I've gone, I've had the best time. The first time I went with my dad, and I went and saw Sophie Aldred and Joe Grant and all these other people, and it was so fucking good. It was genuinely such a good experience, and also it's for charity. I cannot praise this convention enough. Second time I went with Morgan. We went and I met fucking, I've forgotten all their names now. I met a bunch of new companions basically, and it was just as fun as the last time, if not more. Me and Morgan had a blast, honestly. And then the third time I went with Joe, and I met Colin Baker. I met Sophie Aldred again. It's just a great atmosphere. It's a great experience. I highly recommend when COVID goes away and conventions come back. If Bedford Who is back on, I recommend going to it because it is such a good convention. Every time I've been, it's been amazing. I don't know whether a 2019 or 2021 took place, but I definitely missed one, I'm pretty sure. But I'm itching to go to the next one when COVID goes away, and it's safe to go, obviously. But yeah, the next in tier 4 we have The Game. Now, what this is referencing is a little short film skit series I did with Kane called The Game, and then The Game Midlife Crisis. There hopefully will be a third instalment of that, a third and final instalment called Divide. I don't want to talk about too much about that, but basically The Game was just this sort of like this piss take of like this like musical like genre of film where you have these musicals where we like lip sync to an existing song, and that's basically what it was for the first two. And the third one will be a similar idea but a new take, a very interesting new idea on it. But yeah, that's basically what The Game was. That's pretty self-explanatory there. But the only reason why it's so obscure for Zea Tea is because obviously it's on my second channel. So but yeah, I think I'm very proud of those videos so far. I think the bloopers also are hilarious for those two videos, so check it out if you fancy it. But yeah, next in tier 4 we have the YouTube Skype. Now, what this is referencing is in 2016 and 2017, I was in a Skype group with a bunch of YouTubers, is what people like to call us, that sort of people on YouTube who make Doctor Who videos, call them YouTubers. But I was in a group of people, of some of my very close friends who I collaborated with Doctor Who back in the day with Team Torchwood and TT Institute, and I collaborated with people like I say, Doctor Forever, also known as Cam. I knew him as Cameron, and then Jude, also Danny as well. I think, it's very self-explanatory. But yeah, I collaborated with a bunch of my friends at the time on there, and that's basically it, really. It became this thing that people likes to reference in our comment sections a bit, because we all kind of knew each other, and we all kind of collaborated with each other at times and spoke to each other on a personal level. We mostly made the Skype because we were friends. We didn't want to make it initially just because of collaborating. We wanted to do it because we were all friends, and we met each other at Dimensions 2016, which was that Newcastle convention that I think I made a video on. I think Dr. Forever also made a video on that as well. It was a really fun convention, actually. One of the best ones I've ever been to. I met Sylvester McCoy, Colin Baker. It was a great convention. And I met some of my close friends on there, as well, from the Doctor Who community on there. So yeah, and that Skype was born from there, really. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Yeah. Next we have Warframe. Now, Warframe is exclusively something that exists on my second channel, I is Borg. Warframe it's just a gaming series that I did. Warframe is a video game, basically, and I played Warframe with friends, and it's a series that I'm really proud of. Every gaming video that I've done on Warframe has been a banger, pretty much. So, it's a great series, which is all needs to be said, really, and plus it's a good game as well, so yeah. Next on the agenda for Phase 4, yeah, we're in the Marvel MCU now, Tier 4. We have the 24-hour live stream, which is also in reference to what I said earlier, how Dr. Forever, my mate Cam at the time, he made a 24-hour live stream where we all just did Doctor Who stuff, and he scheduled in these different topic things that we spoke about during the thing. I think one of them was like a commentary on The Brain and Morbius, and a different part of the 24-hour live stream was like a review of Series 10. And I can't remember, it was so long ago. I haven't even watched back those since I initially participated in them with my mates and all that. So but no, yeah, the 24-hour live stream was really cool, and I'm really proud that we managed to do that. I'm very proud of Cam as well for getting that done. But yeah, that's pretty much it with that one. But yeah, it's a cool thing. I think it's still up on Dr. Ever's channel if you want to go watch that. Excuse me. But yeah, if you want to watch that, it's up, I'm pretty sure. But yeah. Now, this is quite far down the list for good reason. This is DVD reviews. Now, I did a lot of those in the Team Torchwood phase of my channel, but I stopped those. I don't know why. I think the original format of the DVD reviews was I did them down there where I do my merch reviews. I did DVD reviews down there, my merch updates. Did my DVD reviews down there, and what I did is I had the Bowl of Doom, which should be on really it should be in the bottom tier really. I'm not sure anyone really knows what the Bowl of Doom is anymore. But the Bowl of Doom, or the Bowl of Death, maybe I think I called it. It was just a glass bowl, and it had like a bunch of Doctor Who episode titles in there. And basically, at the end of every DVD review, I pulled out of the Bowl of Doom and looked at it, and I picked out and I reviewed whatever episode I got out of the bowl for next episode. The next DVD review I did was dependent on what episode title I picked out of the Bowl of Doom. And that was a cool series that I did. I don't know why I stopped, but it is what it is, really. But yeah, it was a cool thing that I did, and it's pretty funny looking back how I did that with the Bowl of Doom, like I say, and how you know I did that formula of randomly selecting an episode for next week or whatever. But yeah, that's a cool thing that I did. Yeah. Next in tier 4 is the Institute House. Now, this should probably be in the very bottom tier, to be honest. This should be in tier 5 because this was never really anything that was explicitly said in a video, but this was a concept idea that I had when TT Institute really came into fruition, and I brought in Dylan and Joe, where I had this idea of us obviously collaborating and doing all these Doctor Who videos on this channel, which we did do, where basically we had this sort of like connected like story of like an ARG of sorts, not really an ARG, but kind of, where we all lived in the same house and we made it look like that, and we do like little skits, production shorts that kind of cross over into different videos that we've done. Like Getting Back into Doctor Who is a very popular video of mine. That was originally the stepping point onto that, where we did skits like that kind of cross over to other people that are in the house. But basically the Institute House was a cool idea that I had that never really came to fruition. It was a cool concept though that would have been cool to see play out, but it was a bit too far-fetched for it to be actually come out in the way I initially envisioned it. But yeah, that was that one. Next we have COD Zombies, which is also living exclusively on Aya's Borg on my second channel, because it's another gaming series that I did, and the only reason why it's on here really is because COD Zombies happens to be one of my favourite games of all time, and I made videos on it, quite a lot of them last year on my second channel, so that's pretty much it for that. Now, Potato Gaming. Now this, if you manage to find it, have at it. There are some videos still up on a channel called Potato Gaming, which was a gaming channel that I made in 2013 with Morgan. Good luck if you can find that channel, because there are loads of channels titled Potato Gaming now. But we made it, and we didn't really get anywhere with it, but it was a fun little, like, very obscure thing that we did that was kind of dumb. A lot of the videos are taken down. I don't know where they went, but yeah, if you find the channel, congrats! You get to see some really shitty Minecraft videos from 2013 made by a 13 and 14-year-olds, so you know. Good luck to you. Next we have Flat K. Flat K was just a meme that I did in 2020, early 2020, when I was obviously living in uni halls and doing the Zea Tea Podcast with Otis and Henry. And we just made jokes about Flat K and how cursed it is, and how the kitchen was always manky, and how everyone else we were living with always made it a mess, and we were the only 3 people that were cleaning, and it just became a meme. And it became a meme that the people watching the podcast, because on the podcast, nearly every week we did the podcast, we would complain about how messy the kitchen was or how cursed our flat is. And eventually the commenters kind of cottoned on for a little while, and were like, oh, Flat K, the ground zero for the coronavirus or whatever, that meme happened. But no, yeah, that was a fun little thing that happened. But yeah, Flat K was the flat that I lived in for a year, for my first year at uni. So that's pretty much it for that. But yeah, that was it. Flat K is just another very obscure channel meme that's dead now, but yeah, anyway. Next we have the Wheel of Death. Now the Wheel of Death is our overlord. He sees all, knows all, determines our fate. You do not question the Wheel of Death. The Wheel of Death questions you. Next we have, I decided to put this into one big the Doctor Who CD and book collection video updates. Now, I've had a lot of people asking. This is mostly on here so I can address it in this video. I don't know why I didn't put it right at the top so I could address it at the start of the video. But there are people commenting, asking why I haven't done a book collection update or a Big Finish update since like 2017 or 18 maybe, I don't know. Mostly that's because I haven't collected anything new. That's the sad truth. I just haven't been doing that. I just haven't been collecting as much Doctor Who in general. If anything, I've only been collecting the DVDs, and even that has been sparse until recently because I wanted to finish the DVD collection. And as for books and CDs, like I say, I've probably collected 2 new Big Finish since the last Big Finish collection update. And same with the books, to be honest. I probably only bought 1 or 2 additional books, so it wouldn't really be worth it. You know what I mean? It's not really worth it to update them. And maybe if I get loads more, I might do a new one, but I don't really see that happening, sadly. Sorry, guys. But who knows? Maybe one day. But no, yeah. Next on tier 4, we have Carl Betts. Now, this is a name that I haven't spoken in fucking years. Now, Carl Betts is probably an account. I don't know if they were a real person. I don't know how much I can really say on this because I just don't really know enough about this. But basically, this actually links back to the YouTube Skype that I was on about earlier in tier 4. Basically, I was in a Skype with a bunch of these other YouTubers, and basically there was this other YouTuber in the Skype that kind of left the Skype, and then he wasn't allowed back in for some reason. I can't remember why. But I was very on the outside of the situation with this. I didn't really want to get involved in this drama, but he wasn't let back in, and then he made a fake account called Carl Betts, and what he did is basically troll us and also leave very, very vile comments on other more popular Doctor Who YouTube channels like the Who Addicts or Batman March or people like that. And I ended up having to reach out. I think a lot of us on the Skype actually ended up having to reach out to people, bigger YouTubers, to be like, don't even encourage them, just ignore the comments, remove them, do whatever you have to do, just don't address them on Twitter, because that's ended up what happening is they addressed these comments on Twitter, and then the person who I will not name ended up commenting more vile comments on people's videos, and then eventually started trying to release private information of ours to the public, and Jesus, it was a real mess of a drama, and I'm very glad that that's in the past, but sadly this drama did kind of disband the Skype group because of all the drama that went on, and I'm still in touch with some of them, to be fair. I'm still in touch with some of the people from the Skype, but it's very fleeting messages. It's just a catch up to see how they're doing, but this really did fracture our Skype group, sadly, but it is what it is. At least it didn't end too badly. Eventually we ended up having to actually report them to cyberbullying or whatever, or to like whatever, report them or whatever, and that ended up working, and they ended up going away. But yeah, that's the long and short of it, really. I don't really know too much when it was going on, and I don't really know much now, to be honest, because I kind of blocked most of that stuff out of my memory. But basically, drama went down that I wasn't really involved in, but that drama eventually kind of dragged me into it, because I ended up being one of the people they wanted to out with personal information or some bollocks, which is fucked, to be honest. For everyone involved, really. It was really fucked that he did that, but anyway. It's something that I've come to terms with. It's a shame that it did kind of disband the Skype group, but things end. It's not things don't last forever. So, but no, that if anybody remembers that, then you're an OG. But it was a big thing that happened in the Doctor Who YouTube community back in 2017, I think it happened, maybe. But yeah, it was a very weird time. But no, that's obviously, like I say, since been sorted out, and I haven't heard from that person since. Obviously, I don't know if anyone else has, but yeah. And I speak to the Skype group on occasion, but nowhere near as much as before this drama happened. But all the same, I'm glad it's all dead and buried now. I hope I don't dig up any dirt on anyone by addressing it, but I wanted to address it because it's this old thing that kind of affected my channel at the time, and I never addressed it. So I'm glad I'm getting it off my chest now. Anyway, on a lighter note, next on the final thing, oddly enough, in Tier 4 is the Minecraft quest. Now, this is a series I'm very proud of. It's a series on Iceberg, my gaming channel, once again, shocker there, and I'm making it with Morgan. And my god, it's a series that we're proud of. It is so much fun. It's such a good series to binge as well, I bet. But yeah, it's a Minecraft series basically that I've been doing with Morgan. So go watch that if you fancy it. You don't have to though. I keep saying you should check this out, check that out. You don't have to do any of that. But if you fancy it, if anything on here interests you that I've mentioned that I've done in the past, then go for it. But you don't have to, like I say. But no, that's it for Tier 4. Let's move on to the final tier, which is Tier 5. The most obscure, outlandish stuff that probably you'd only really know about if you knew me personally, or you were very, very, you had a very beady eye when you were watching, some videos. Anyway, yeah, this is probably stuff that I've mentioned once, or has maybe even been mentioned in a comment, if that, you know what I mean? It's very obscure stuff, but yeah. The very first one, which is probably the least obscure of all of these, it probably could have been in Tier 4, but it's the Team Torchwood Room Tour 2017. Now this one, I think in one or two videos I referenced the fact that, maybe I could do a room tour video showing off my whole collection, and then the comments were like, where's that room tour? When's the room tour coming out? Never came out until 2019 when I was like, fuck it, I'll let's make a room tour video, which is the video that eventually came out, and it's the same concept, it's not the Team Torchwood room tour of 2017 that I promised initially or whatever. I don't even know what video I even promised that in, but regardless, that's that. The Doctor Who Cookbook Cooking Show. This one is a banger video. This will hopefully still happen, I had an idea for this exact video with Morgan 2017, maybe even 2016, because at one point in 2016, I think my parents bought me a Doctor Who cookbook. I don't know where it's gone, by the way, so I might have to rebuy it for this video. But basically, I promised Morgan, and he had this idea initially, and I promised him that one day we will do a Doctor Who cooking show. We'll look through that cookbook and we'll make some sort of Dalek pastries, or we'll do whatever recipe is in there and we'll make it a reality. And we'll try some recipes in the cookbook as a cooking show idea. Which will still happen, hopefully. It's a banging idea, and I promised to do it with Morgan, and one day we will. I promise you, when COVID is gone and it's safe to, we will do it. I'm desperate to do that now, because that is such a fun idea. But the reason why it's so low is because I think I probably mentioned it once as a joke in a video with Morgan, maybe us just referencing the fact that, where's the cookbook, where's the cooking show, or something. I don't even know which video, but it was a Series 10 review maybe with Morgan. I'm not sure really, but who knows. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a banging video idea that hopefully will happen someday. I genuinely want it to, so hopefully you guys will see that at some point. Next, we have Dr. Z. Now, this channel is gone. You will not be able to find my Dr. Z channel. There may be other channels on YouTube called Dr. Z, but this channel in particular is gone. Now, this was my channel before Team Torchwood, before I started Team Torchwood in 2016. Dr. Z was a channel where I just posted whatever I liked, basically. I posted gaming, I did food challenges, whatever I wanted to do, really. That's pretty much it, really. It was just a channel that ended up getting hacked, and all the videos got removed, and the channel ended up getting deleted, so it is what it is. It's a bloody shame, because I did really well on that channel, and that channel got a lot of subs, but what can you do? But no, that's pretty much it. That's the long and short of it. Dr. Z was a YouTube channel that I had that has been hacked and now it's gone and blah, 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 blah. That's it, really. But yeah. Next we have one of the most obscure memes of my channel, which is the hybrid. Now, you guys probably weren't even aware that it was a meme, because it's not really a meme that was on this channel. It's an in-joke that I had with... Well, initially it was with the Doctor Who Skype group, really. When we did the 24-hour live stream, I think there's a clip still, maybe I'll be able to find it, where I just take the piss. I just do an impression of Peter Capaldi and I say, "Oh, the hybrid, Clara."
Clara, you know where the hybrid is? The hybrid is.
Are you the hybrid?
The hybrid is in my pants.
And they just burst out laughing. And eventually I ended up bringing that in-joke to my college group with, like, Joe and Dylan. And Dylan ended up latching onto that joke like a bloody leech, like a sloth. And Joe and Dylan are probably the main reason why the in-joke hybrid hasn't died yet. But it's only a joke that I've referenced on this channel a couple times, which is why it's so obscure and why it's so low down on here. But that's pretty much it. It's just the hybrid. It's just, if you hear me say the hybrid in a very like strong Scottish accent, it's that. That's the joke, really. It's just us taking the piss out of that, really. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Next we have Unlucky 13. Unlucky 13 was a short film that me and Dylan actually started filming. We made a script for, we started filming it, and I won't tell you the details about it because someday I want to actually go all in and refilm all of it and redo it and film it properly and make a full short film about this. But me and Dylan made started making a short film called Unlucky 13 in 2019, but we never finished it, basically. Well, that's pretty much the long and short of that. It's just a film that never got finished. But I only referenced it probably once, maybe. I'm not really sure. I think the only reason why it's on it is because it's just something that could have been on the channel but wasn't, you know, at the end of the day. Next we have, another meme. Hashtag Zach's forehead. Now, I don't even know who started this joke anymore, because originally, it was someone at college just basically came up to me with my afro that I had at the time, if anyone remembers that. The Zach fro! That should have been on the iceberg on here. The Zach fro. The hashtag Zach fro. That should have been on there. Anyway, that's my big afro that not many people remember anymore. Anyway, sorry, yeah, so Zach's forehead. Hashtag Zach's forehead. At college, basically, someone came up to me, a mate of mine, basically lifted up my fringe and then just tapped my forehead with their 3 fingers like this and just said, hashtag Zach's forehead, or what that forehead do, or something. They said something like that, and they started popularizing it, and then I stupidly told Kane about this brilliant joke, and Kane references it on occasion, sometimes in videos, so that's how it's made it on the Zea Tea Iceberg, because it gets referenced every now and then. So the Zach's forehead, and the joke is that my whole forehead is huge, and yet my forehead is fucking normal. Sure, my hairline isn't 100%, but it's not terrible. My forehead's great, thank you very much. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just an in-joke that manifested against my will, I guess. I don't know. Alright, next in tier 5 we have something called Nightmare, which is a comment that I got on one of my short films in last year, in 2020, which has kind of caught fire, really, because people really really kind of like attached to that. Basically, the comment was this sort of theory that my channel has this big ARG behind it. And I'm not going to confirm or deny whether that's true or not. You'll have to find out for yourself, based on if you want to go back and dig through old videos or old comments or whatever. Or you just wait for new videos to come out, because there are going to be more videos coming out that may or may not be related to a supposed ARG or not. I'm going to stop talking before I say too much. Next, we have Lads on Tour. Lads on Tour was a vlogging series idea that was very short-lived. It was born through the idea of myself, Joe and Mark from college going out on adventures, vlogging stuff, going on these grand adventures, going into London or going to a convention, or just fucking go into each other's houses. I mean, it's just a vlogging series of all three of us being a trio doing whatever, because we had a good chemistry, a good vibe, a good like sort of like dynamic as a trio for videos. So it was just a vlogging series idea we had, but it never really came to fruition, sadly. So it's just kind of left in the ethos of my YouTube as this obscure thing that could have been. But yeah, that's that. Next we have DVD Collection 2019. Now, I get so many fucking comments asking for a Doctor Who DVD collection for 2019. Now, I'm here to tell you, I'm breaking all the rumours. I'm coming out with the truth. There was a DVD collection for 2019, and I uploaded it for a couple days in 2019 on the actual channel anniversary, my 3-year channel anniversary in 2019. But the BBC took it down. There's not much I can do about that, really, because they were like, oh, it's got Doctor Who music in it. I'll have that, thanks. They do that with a lot of my videos, so that's why that's not there anymore. I get comments saying, I swear there was a DVD collection in 2019. Where's your DVD collection for 2019? I swear I saw it the other day. There are a few comments like that rolling around on my channel every now and then. It was taken down. That's your answer. I did have one, but it's not there anymore. Stop asking me, please. But no, in all seriousness, that's the reason. The BBC took it down, as they take down a lot of Doctor Who videos of mine. But yeah, that's the long and short of it, really. Next is actually one is really, really cool. The Doctor Who audio dramas. I think I probably mentioned this once in a video. Around early 2018 is when I referenced it, because I was like, oh, maybe there'll be a Doctor Who audio drama series that we'll do for the TT Institute. We ended up recording a pilot. Basically, it was this big reboot idea of making my own Doctor and my own companion join me as the Doctor, and all these other side characters for this particular episode. It was a pilot episode, like I say, of my own iteration of Doctor Who in an audio form, like an idea of Big Finish, obviously in lower quality, but yeah. We recorded it late 2017, and I said, oh, maybe there'll be an audio drama thing that we can release at the start of 2018. But I didn't edit it. I literally recorded all of the lines for it, and I never edited it until like late 2019 because I got bored and I wanted something to edit because I didn't have much to do around that time. So I edited the audio drama down, and it's actually finished, the audio drama pilot, but I don't know whether to release it or not, or where to release it, or whether you guys would even be interested to see it. Maybe you would. I don't know. But that was the idea, basically, is that Catherine would have been the companion, and we recorded the lines for her. And then obviously, Kane was like a side character. Also, Joe was a bad guy. My dad also played a bad guy. I had a mate called Robert play a side character. It was real fun to do, to be honest, and it came out really all right with my editing skills in 2019, my audio design editing in 2019. But yeah, it was recorded stuff from 2017, edited in 2019, so it was a bit weird. But if you guys want to see it, then I might be able to stick it somewhere for you guys to watch, the audio drama pilot. It might be fun to watch it. But yeah, that's that. I would have done it, but it was too much work at the end of the day. It was so much work for the production, and I just didn't get around to writing or producing any more episodes at the time, and I never really had the motivation to restart that fire to make a full audio series, unless it was just some sort of audio book reading thing, and that isn't really even worth it up to the same standard. So, but that's that, really. The DVD fucking hell, I'm having another stroke. The Doctor Who audio dramas, what could have been. It would have been fun to do them, but it would have been a lot of work, so that's why they didn't happen at the end of the day. And I probably only promised it once or twice in actual videos at the time, so you know. Alright, next on tier 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 kill me, we have something called The Last Twinkie. Now, The Last Twinkie is a short film that has fucking been difficult to get out to you guys, because basically the idea of it is just two grown men fighting over a Twinkie. It's just a dumb concept to begin with, but it's an idea that I had back in 2017 when I had the idea to have Kane and Mark fight over a Twinkie. in 2017, have them meet, have them fight, and then me come in and break up the fight, and me end up dying, and it's a whole short film. But that didn't end up happening. I wanted to do it to test my skills in filming, like a fight scene. That was the main reason why I wanted to do it, but it seemed fun to do as well. But never did it, and then at the end of 2018, we actually arranged it, got ready to do it, and ended up filming it with Kane and Joe, and they ended up being the ones fighting in the end for the film. But we ran out of time, basically. Joe showed up a lot later than scheduled, and it didn't end up getting filmed, sadly. So one day there may be a film that comes up in your sub boxes called The Last Twinkie, but until that day, you guys just have to hold tight for it. Anyway, next in tier 5 we have something called the DVD Collection 2015. Now, this is just a joke. This is just a meme. What the funny thing is that I did actually record a tester video for the DVD collection. It wasn't in 2015. It was earlier in 2016 than when the actual one came out that you guys saw. But there was a video that I actually filmed that was just me doing what I did, which was like film me looking at all the DVDs that I have in my collection as a tester. But it wasn't 2015. It was basically, it just came as a meme. The 2015 DVD collection for Doctor Who. That was just a meme that came out of some of the stuff that I did in TT Institute with some of the other YouTube Doctor Who lot. But yeah, that's basically it. There was a different draft of the DVD collection, the first one that you saw, that could have been the one that you saw instead of the 2016 one that you ended up seeing. But yeah, that's basically it, really. Just below that, we have something called Twatsylvania. Now, that is just a dumb phrase that I came out with when we first moved into our housing that we moved in just last year in September, October. It's just a word. It's just a dumb gimmicky word that I said. But it didn't really catch on, but it is something that people sometimes reference in the comments, but it's very fleeting, so you know. But that's that, really. Twatsylvania is just a dumb name for the house that we had. Excuse me, for the short time that we were allowed to use it, because of COVID. We weren't even allowed in the house for half of the time that we owned it. But yeah, that's basically it. That's all Twatsylvania is, really. It's just a meme. Then we have Lego Doctor Who and Doctor Who Figure Adventures. Now I'm going to lump those in with the same thing. Basically, when I was a lot younger, I had a different channel. It wasn't Dr. Z channel. It was a different one that was just my email address. It was just my name as the YouTube name, and it was where I posted Lego videos, but also animated Doctor Who action figure adventures and other Go-Go's Crazy Bones animated stuff that I did with Morgan as well. But yeah, that channel, obviously, I don't know where it is now, to be honest. It's very obscure. I don't know if you'll be able to find it. But yeah, basically, I did Doctor Who Figure Adventures. I did a lot of them as well, and I don't know where they are. They're probably somewhere on like a HI8 camera tape somewhere in the back of my cupboard or in my loft or somewhere. Same with my Lego Doctor Who as well, because I recorded them on an analog camcorder, which means that it tapes it on tapes. It doesn't tape it digitally. It tapes it on these actual recorded tape files. These actual and they're probably somewhere. I could probably dig them out and show you guys, but they're very cringy, and I'd prefer not to. But yeah, it shows that even back in my earlier years, I was still, just as always, just as I am now, I was, even at the age of 12, 11, I was making short films on those shitty cameras, and I was animating and making Doctor Who videos on those shitty cameras. So I guess some things do never change, you know? But yeah, that's it. That's it. We've managed to tackle all of the Zea Tea Iceberg. We've done it. I think just for the fact that we've done all that, I think we deserve a party popper or a cake with a candle in it, you know, to celebrate that, let alone the 5 years that I've had this channel, and how bloody hell, have you managed to watch this whole video all the way through? Because if you have, Jesus Christ, you guys are committed. If you have watched it from front to back with no spaces, you're a madman. You have every ounce of respect, but also pity. But no, that's it, really. That's the Zea Tea Iceberg. Those are all of the minutiae and ins and outs of my channel that was probably worth mentioning. I'm going to put this flag back up, actually. Actually, wait, look. That's something that should have been on here. My wall of stuff. Can you see that? The wall of stuff is just there. That should have been on my iceberg. My Zea Tea Iceberg. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys actually had a lot of fun, because it's been fun for me, reminiscing on all these things that were buried and dead and gone on my channel, but now I'm kind of referencing and bringing light to, I guess, which is fun, you know. But also putting certain gripes and qualms that I have with past... Oh, hold on. Didn't mean to leave you like that, guys. But no, like looking back on other like little things that I had issues with as well, putting those to rest, you know, making peace with those things. But no, yeah, it's been a lot of fun looking back at all of this, and it's been a lot of fun doing this channel for 5 years. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast style video as well. It's been a mammoth. Honestly, I've been talking for 2 hours straight. I don't know if this video is going to turn out 2 hours. I don't know if it's going to turn out in like a podcast form or a more streamlined, more quicker video or what. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys had fun. So with that said, I want to say thank you to everybody that was involved in my channel for the 5 years. And I want to say thank you for all the people that have watched. Like I say at the start of this video, regardless if you started watching yesterday or last year or 5 years ago or whenever, I'm happy. I'm very, very, very touched, honoured. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I can stop talking now. Can you hear how shredded my vocals are now? I've been talking for so long. I need a break. I'll see you guys later.